What's up, child of God? God is saying, be brave in this time. He's saying, be brave. No matter what happens, he said, hold your head high. He says, no matter what's going on in your thoughts, he says, no, he knows the thoughts that he has for you. Thoughts to prosper you. Hear me now. He says, thoughts to give you an expected end, for they are not of evil. So you got to keep your head, my God, held high, knowing that he is the head and not the tail, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. My God, he says, there's so many things that's trying to reoccur, but he says, when you lean on him, when you stand firm in him, he says, it's going to be as if, my God, the avalanche explosion. Go check and stay in tune with the podcast. He says there are so many different things that is happening for your life, my God, that is just not going to make sense if you focus on the memories of the past, if you focus on what the enemy is trying to offer you, if you focus on all these storms of confusion. He says rebuke the storms of chaos. He says there are certain things that just not going to last. He says pay attention to the words that's coming out of the people's mouths during this time frame. He says for he has revealed such a fruit to his nation to know exactly who to be with and who not to. He says who to depart from. He says, my God, witchery and all these things, all these idols, all this, my God, hell is being rebuked right now. And so you have a tendency to hear, my God, he says, those who have eyes to see, let them see. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. And so, my God, as you are a prophet, my God, as you are in tune with the prophet Jesus, hear me now, you're going to be able to hear clearer. You're going to be able to see clearly. There are going to be certain fruits that's just going to be coming out of somebody's mouth. And it's not going to just make sense like it used to back when you, my God, were on a lower standpoint. He says he's risen the state of your mind, the state of your existence, the state of where you're going. He says so much so that you're going to rectify to understand if it's a lying prophet or if it's his prophet. Hear me now. And so you'll know because what is coming out of their mouth. He says you got to make sense of it. And we're not trying to, my God, cast our pearls before any swine during this season, because your pearl need to be, my God, stowed away in the field. Hear me now. Like the boy who, the man who, hear me now, found treasure in a field, and because of his joy, he hid that thing again. That's the type of breakthrough that we're having in this time frame. It's the type where you don't open your mouth about everything that's happening and what God is doing for you and what he's planning for you. It's so much so that every time you move forward, all of your footsteps are being ordered. He says his outstretched arm is going to guide you through every circumstance. He says, my God, as you take the incline, your children are just going to incline with you. Hear me now. It's like it's just providing a way out. You heard of that saying, crab in a bucket, my God, and people were pulling you down in one season to get your way up. But see, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And so as you have the way, you have the truth, you have the life. He says there's an elegant statue being risen on your name. He says that thing where your name is written in heaven, my God, is meeting you closer and closer as you extend the offer of where he called you and needed you to be on the altar, as you choose to worship him, as you choose to go about with the virtue, as you choose to, my God, state the evidence of him and what he wants you to do, no matter what nobody else thinks about you. As they talk about you, hear me now, you keep on speaking about Jesus. Hear me now. And so, my God, the thing that they're going to catch up, my God, in the next season of your life, hear me now, you're taking that as backlash, but you're going to rebuke it, and you're going to make sure you keep repenting, realizing that you're not perfect. Let them talk about the days that you ain't perfect. And my God, they're even glorifying Jesus if you really want to think about it in the incline. And so when you think about it in certain ways, you won't operate through your flesh. You won't operate through your emotions. And so by doing so, baby, you're just taking the flight that was needed to be guaranteed on your life, that Jesus is your plus one. Hear me now. And he has already prepared the plan, the outreach and the overpouring, the anointings, and the, my God, it's just flowing over. Hear me now. I'm talking about so much so that it hits and shifts the environments of your today, your next day, their day, whoever's watching, whoever's saying your name, and the, my God, I'm talking about this thing's so big, y'all. It's not like before when you were younger and you were, some are babes in Christ, and if you are, God bless you. And at the end of the day, no matter where we are on our journey, everything is, my God, counted. God was showing me how when I was younger, he was counting the prayers that I was younger, not even knowing who I was in God. And I'm walking down the street praying, trying to God, eating whatever at that time, just very much so young, but praying. But God was like, do you know prayers have no expiration date? He says, pray without season. Pray without season. When they start to do certain things and you're starting to hear these things coming around you, or thoughts or mindsets or old people, they're speaking about you. God is clarifying this stuff. You ain't tripping, child of God. He's giving you updated information. But see, this is the catch. When you're with him, he's like, I need you to shift your mind higher. I need you to see this standpoint that it was never about just you and that person. It's always been about hell versus heaven. Hear me now. And so we already know heaven is the strong point where our Father has came soon. Hear me though. And so as you realize that, you start to shift in the incline, you start to focus more, you start to, my God, arrive. I'm talking about people don't even realize that your prayers from when you was a little girl is still being, my God, activated in heaven because of who you are, because of the promise dwelling in you, resting in you. I heard Jesus say safe haven. And that's it. That's all. Stay in tune with the podcast, y'all. I love y'all so much. Be well, be blessed, stay motivated, stay positive, stay prayed up.